I also don't think you would be the girl to be like, oh, why you ain't call me?
I would never.
That's what I'm saying.
Okay, so it depends on the circumstances. Let's say I'm out. I'm at the club.
Oh, okay. You
Okay,
doing that?
and you come up to me and you like, you bad, and I want your number. If you don't text me that night, I'm gonna be annoyed.
Nah.
Hello, my loves. Welcome back to our channel. Thank you so much for joining us again. I'm your girl, Intisar Eleanor. I am always joined by my beautiful husband, Joseph Conner, and we are back on the Conner's couch talking all things. I almost said something else.
Well, we've been juggling shows.
We've been juggling shows, and can we get a thank you? Hello?
How about that? High five, babe. We've been on it.
Yeah, and you've been on it. Let's be for real.
We've been juggling shows.
But I want to tell y'all how yesterday I told Joe all the things we needed to do. I gave him a list of stuff. We got to do this. We got to go to the park. We got to look at this. We got to look at that. This morning he woke up, he fed me, and then he said, okay, come on. We got to take a shower. We got to do all the 4 things you said. And I've been pissed ever since.
Like, she's totally revolting on herself.
But he's like, you can't get mad at me for doing what you told me you wanted me to do.
Yes.
I'm tired. Truth is, I'm tired. Options are few. Okay. But we're here. We watched Ready to Love today. I actually really enjoyed it, if I'm being honest.
Yeah, I thought it was a good episode.
It was a very good episode. And let's jump on in. Okay, so the episode opens up with everybody coming on into the Helium Comedy Club so they can finally meet the full group of singles. Okay.
And Uncle Tommy is asking for praise again.
Child.
Come on. Give it up. Come on.
Ew,
Please.
Joe, that made me cringe.
That's how I cringe every time he do it.
We sit in the bed like, you have got to be kidding me. And I love that man. Like, don't get me wrong.
I really do. I just want them to
love
leave it
him
alone.
But like, bro,
Please.
who y'all know every time they come in the room, people start clapping?
Nobody. Not even the president. And I mean when the president was Obama.
I do miss Obama.
I do too, but I'm still not clapping every time he walks into the goddamn room.
So they all meet each other. We get to see the eyes and the looks made from both sides of the groups. Some things that stood out to me was that Angie gave Wayne her number. Now, this is a theme for the episode, just so you guys know.
This is a theme for Angie, it sounds like.
As well. Yeah. It's a theme for Angie as well. But you know what? You said something earlier while we were watching this, and how you said 2 things. You said women in Philadelphia are very forward, and you think that in your dating life, that's the reason why you weren't forward.
Yeah, I mean, because my young adult life was before Zar was growing up dating women in Philadelphia, and the quintessential Philly woman, which I was reminded of on this episode, is pretty forward. Like, you know what I mean? They like, I know, was it Angie? You know, she was flirting with the guy. She said, so we going out or what? You know what I mean? That's happened to me multiple times. You know what I mean? The one girl just started rubbing whatever they was doing. I think it was clay. Started rubbing clay on the bull body. You know what I mean? So I think when you get used to that, you like leave room for it. You know?
Yes. So what do you feel about the forward energy?
I honestly don't. I mean, like I said, I'm biased because I'm a Philly boy. I'm fine. I'm fine of it. Like I'm fine with it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I think it's cool.
I think that they make it clear that they like you.
And that's, I think, what I'm fond of.
Yes.
I was never like the play the games type guy, and I appreciate that about forward women.
Yes.
Like, I like you, you like me, what we doing?
Right.
Cool. You know what I mean? Yeah. Let's do it, you know?
It's funny because I don't feel like I'm that kind of woman. I feel like I'm like, if I have to ask you, we won't date.
I don't think forward in my mind means like they're proposing to their man.
No, forward to me is...
You know what I mean? Because I don't feel like many women, like when I was dating in Philly, the small time that I was like asking me. But I think it was more of like, it's no smoke and mirrors or playing games or playing coy or like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
They flirting with you. You know they flirting with you. You know what I mean?
See what you mean.
That's what I don't mean.
See,
like,
my thing is,
I don't want she getting down on one knee.
No.
I'm not here for
me, it's like, I don't want to absolve you. I think I am coy. So like, I would say
no, I think you lead too.
I don't.
In a forward way.
No, I don't.
You did
think
when we were dating.
I don't think I did.
You did. You did.
How? Give me an example.
Just like I was saying, like Angie is flirting. You could tell she's interested, right? The other young lady was flirting.
I don't think what she's doing is it's weird that just being, honest about like being attracted to someone. No, I've never done that.
I'm saying forward is a spectrum. It's not a negative connotation.
I don't think it is,
because I think it is a big Philly thing, and it doesn't mean to me. I don't want anybody to get the wrong impression. It doesn't mean like they're proposing to the men. I mean, like there's not a lot of guessing. When I say my experience with you was forward, there wasn't a lot of guessing. That's what I mean. Like, you know what I mean? It wasn't a lot of like, oh, she's mysterious. Like, what does she mean? You know
okay. Yeah, because I'm not about to ask no man to, you need to call me. You need to do this. You need to do that.
Now that was a different type of forward that we saw on this episode.
Right, because and I applaud women who are like that. So don't get me wrong. I like to see women saying what they want, what they don't like, advocating for themselves. I like to see it. I think it's really cool.
I think it's very Philly.
But it is very, very Philly. And I'm a Philly joint too. And I do have a lot of that. I think I'm forward about what you not going to do. I'm going to let you do a lot of what you want to do. But I'm going to tell you what you're not going to do. You know what I mean? Yeah. Like, I'm correcting bad behaviors, but I'm not going to I'm not ever going to lead in spaces where I'm not supposed to. I'm not leading feelings. I'm not leading thoughts. None of that. But I like to see women not take a back seat to their romantic prospects. Like, you get out there and you do your thing, girl. It's just that when I was doing my most dating, women, and this is a power dynamic, I think that women had more of the good energy and juju on their side than they do now. Like, you almost as a woman got to make yourself known in a man's life.
That's interesting.
Do that make sense?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So I do think it's like a shift a little bit, where before it was like you could be demure. You could be, like I ain't doing all that. I'm not asking no man. If I gave a man my number and he didn't call, that's the answer. But to Angie's point and Joe's point, Joe said something that I thought was kind of like, okay, you're making me think. He said in this kind of process, he doesn't feel like he should have been docked any points for not calling.
Yeah, I don't think it should be so short a leash. This is a process where you're dating 1,000 people at the same time. It seems very fast paced. Yeah. And you just met the guy. So the only thing I didn't like about what Angie was saying was she kind of came in off the rip like, he didn't call me, and so I'm done with him. You know what I mean? We got to talk. Like, that to me is like, but that also to me is a microcosm of a lot of my issues with the single dating world that I see today. It's like everybody is too quick to cut the rope. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
They went out on one date. He said something about, the sky being blue that she didn't agree with, and she's done with him. You know what I mean? Or we watched the pop the balloon thing. The guy comes in, all the balloons pop. What's wrong? I don't like his shoes.
Yeah.
Like, everything is like real quick. Y'all just met. Give this man some time to get his bearings.
Like, let him cook.
Yeah. I don't think that it was any wrong with her saying, hey, like, I'll give you my number. What's up? Because like I said, I'm used to that with the Philadelphia women. I don't think there's anything wrong with it. But I think to then be like, I'm cutting you off if you don't like that is just too much to me.
But I think we got offered a little bit of perspective here. Coley as well says that Wayne they exchanged numbers. Thank you, baby.
Yeah.
They exchanged numbers as well. And I think that now starts to tell me if you don't reach out, you don't even got to say too much. You could just say, hey, we all left the mixer. Hope you got home safe. You know what I mean? It don't have to be like, what are your thoughts on Sudan? You know, we could just be something nice. So as much as I actually really did, when you said that, you offered me a different perspective. I thought, wait a minute, they are here to date. How are we? So by that logic, the only times we're supposed to get to know each other is when we're on camera.
No, I'm not saying that. I'm just saying have some grace when we in episode 3.
Yeah, that makes sense.
That's all I'm saying.
That makes sense. I thought it was very forward of Angie we don't know how many days it's been, right? But we know that this is the 3rd episode.
Yeah, that's what we're going off of. Like, we know, and I'm going off of seeing how quick y'all are in just the social media space to just cut somebody off.
Yeah.
Like it just seems like a running theme and y'all let us know in the comments, but it just seems like a running theme in today's dating world. Like, oh, we went out once, I didn't like the ice cream he bought me, I'm done with him. What's happening?
Right. I think another running theme in dating is the interviewing, and Uncle Tommy really called that out during the Helium, when everybody met at Helium. Like, listen, just have a good time. Like, have fun. Like, really to take the pressure off. And then I feel like in that moment, like, really just reiterating that, like, we want y'all to be here to find love, but we also want you to have fun doing it.
Yeah.
Really, you got the opportunity to see certain people blossom. And one of those people for me, we were, I think, lightly critical of Shanice, and I think we were right, because this episode, she was like a flower that bloomed.
But also, Uncle Tommy was low-key talking to her.
He was, because I think you could tell she a good woman.
Yeah.
And she's somebody who should be coveted. She's somebody like people should be after.
He probably also thought you don't have no business being in the bottom. You in the bottom because you
not with
here.
I was gonna say not with Sahara, but she wasn't with Sahara. She was with
Sahara should have been in the. But I think he was probably thinking that too.
Right.
Sahara should have been in the bottom. You're taking up a space.
Right.
And I think I'm so glad that he spoke to it, because you are dating. You're not interviewing. Those are two very different things.
Yes.
And we need to address that and keep that at the forefront. When we're doing these mixers and things like that on various shows and various settings, like, you should be dating, but you shouldn't be interviewing.
And have a good time. Like, enjoy speaking to men. Like, you know what I mean? Enjoy speaking to women. Because I find that a large part of the reason why nobody want to be married and nothing like that, because y'all don't even like being with the opposite sex.
Yeah.
Like, as a standard.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because if you enjoyed women, just enjoyed the essence of women, you would understand why being with a woman would be something that would add value to your life. Does that make sense?
1,000%. And not only that, dating should be, the fun part about that should be conversational, right? Nobody really likes interviews. Me and Zar was talking the other day about doing interviews and doing auditions, right? I've never met any, as a person who basically grew up in the entertainment industry, I've never met anybody who said they like going on auditions.
Yeah.
And then when I got into the business world, I never met anybody who said they like doing interviews.
Yeah.
So no wonder when you sit in front of these people and you're just hammering them with questions, because most interviews aren't conversational. The good ones are like, oh, I thought it was a good interview. And then you say, why? Well, I thought it was more conversational. Mm-hmm. They was asking me questions. It just felt free and flowing. That's how it should be when you're in a dating setting, rather than you just like pounding them with questions and then waiting for answers. Right.
And you kind of got to see that with everybody, actually. Like, I felt like you can tell people are getting more comfortable with the process.
Yeah.
And I'm going to be honest, I do think Shanice was nervous. I think that.
And maybe that was it.
You know what I mean? A lot of times I feel like, and this is random, but I feel like when I was interviewing, the early jobs, I was so, like, I wasn't great at it until I just got confident.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And I feel like in this case, she thought she was interviewing.
Yeah.
That process had been completed. You're on the show.
Yeah.
Now it's time to kind of lean in and be yourself kind of thing. Yeah. And I enjoyed her so much. She was really like a breakout star for me this episode.
I thought she did so much better. I thought she actually listened to the advice.
I thought she looked beautiful.
She appeared softer to me.
Yes.
She appeared way more feminine to me.
She was smiling.
Lighter to me. She was smiling. She was like, if she was in my bottom last time, she would have been in my top this time.
Like, I thought it was a complete 180. Mm-hmm. And it was really nice to see. And that's why I attribute it to nerves, because that person was in there. You know what I mean? She just might have been a little bit nervous. Sahara's back.
Lord. And they surprised too. Somebody said, I saw Sahara. And I said, God damn. I felt you, Jay.
Sahara's back. And part of me, so y'all not, I don't care. Sahara is the quintessential Philly Joan.
Yeah.
So it is only right that there is at least one.
To me, we had one, Tay. Tay is quintessential Philly too.
I think Tay is too.
You know what I mean? So I think we had one.
It's always Kiara.
Right.
The women are empowered this week, okay? And Coley has a second chance. Coley meets Mr. Eddie. True said something that I thought was weird. She was like, oh, you need to talk to Eddie. You look Indian. He look Indian. Y'all need to get, like, girl, that's weird as shit.
See, something about the Pocahontas thing or whatever.
Yeah, I didn't love that.
You know what that was? Intimidation. You saw this new pretty girl come. She's standing next to this good-looking guy. They look good together. And instead of you just coming in and being sure about yourself and saying, can I talk to Eddie or whatever, it was like, oh, y'all go ahead because y'all look like Pocahontas and her man.
How you trying to be the matchmaker on the matchmaker show?
Right.
Where you need to be match made.
Right.
Like, I don't understand it. I thought it was, I mean, it could have been cute, but it didn't read that way to me. And
No.
I don't think she was trying to be malicious.
No, I think it reeked of insecurity
It was
to
just
me.
weird as
like
shit.
intimidation.
It was just a little odd to me. But I find True odd. I don't know what
I do
it
too.
is.
She got a little bit of strange energy.
Strange. Something is strange.
But that might be nerves too, being in spaces. And when you are feeling intimidated, you
by the environment, because I know y'all.
some people,
I ain't intimidated by nobody.
but some people do get in rooms, and when they feel intimidated by the others around there, she might feel competition amongst these women.
Oh, you?
And then I think it makes some people say weird stuff. And
Yeah, because I think she playing
awkward.
small a little bit.
I think it's
if that
more
makes
women,
sense, what I'm saying.
1,000% I agree, and I think it's more women involved in this episode, and I think it's a little bit of nervous energy.
Okay. Dianna talks to Francisco. Y'all can't tell me Dianna is not the baddest to ever live, okay? I think that's a bad, big bitch, and I love it. I just think she is so beautiful. Yeah, she's a firefighter. She talks to Francisco. I can see them being together. He says that she has, like, a really confident, beautiful energy, and he can see them being, like, if they were together, they would be, like, a power couple.
I didn't like how Dianna was talking to Cameron this episode, so I was kind of off Dianna. I thought her attitude was kind of nasty. He said she was rude. I thought she was rude, too. I just thought it was unnecessary.
You are right. I think that I didn't like the way that she spoke to Kim, because I didn't think Kim was speaking to her any kind of way.
He was not giving her the energy she was giving.
He was not giving her that energy, and I think that you cannot want to talk to a firefighter and also not be rude.
You cannot want to talk to anybody and not be rude.
Period.
And that is really the lesson and the proof in the pudding when we say how people, how pretty privilege works and how people treat people who they're just physically attracted to or more fond of. That really say more about the person. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because you wasn't talking to Francisco that way.
At all.
Or anybody else that I saw. You know what I mean? Even the pointing in the head, how tall are you?
That was weird AF.
Like
but that was so Philly.
It was, but but also not really, because although Philly women can be assertive and can be forward, the majority of them aren't really rude. That's more of a New York thing. You know what I mean? The majority of them aren't really rude that. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? And like that just gave.
You know what? I would have to agree with that.
That just gave rude for no reason to me.
It gave mean.
Right.
And I feel like y'all 5'10" is not short.
But then we doing this height thing, which I really don't have any patience for. You know what I mean? I'm just tired of hearing about it. And this is somebody who hasn't dealt with it, right? I'm just tired of hearing about it. I think it's so dumb. It's one of these things. I was watching a Pop the Balloon clip the other day. The girl is telling the guy she don't want to be with the guy. The lady host asked her, "Well, how tall are you?" 5. She's 5'2". She's
4'11".
No, this was a different one.
Oh my God.
That was a second. This is a but babe, that's what I'm saying. We keep seeing this because this one I saw today. The girl was 5'2". She asked the guy how tall he was. He's 5'9". He's 5'9". And you're 5'2". She like, I think he's great. I think he's cute, but he just giving too short to me.
But that's why I think there needs to be somebody here who is speaking to these things that are of no consequence or concern. One of the biggest things I always ask women is, what does him being tall do for you? What does his physical tallness actually do for you? You know what I mean? And
yes.
And if you prioritize the characteristics that directly affected you, I think you would have a better time finding somebody in alignment. You know what I mean?
Right, because
if that makes sense.
It does make sense, because my issue with it is not you having a preference, right?
No.
I have a preference. I might be one of the pickiest daters Zar probably knew, right? The difference is that you guys are alienating people off the rip based on these trivial things, right? Before you even get to know, I could tell Dianna's energy towards Cameron was off as soon as he walked up to her because she didn't like his height or whatever it had to do. So now you don't even know this man's character. You don't know how he is as a provider. You don't know how he is as a conversationalist. You don't know anything about him. You're already giving him negative energy because you think he's not tall enough for me.
And I think because she knew what he did for a living.
But even before he got there, it seemed like her energy was weird. Because I've watched her talk to other people and she didn't give them that energy. Because
she didn't talk to Naeem like that.
Right. And she also pretended like she didn't. She hadn't seen him before. He felt like he saw her before.
Oh.
She was like, where you at? Where you work at? Oh, okay. I'm in a different place. It was just icky. Like, you don't even got to talk to this man like that.
That was such a good point.
That was weird.
Because he was probably trying to find some common ground.
And I think it was. I think he was like, I recognize you. You firefighter too. Woody whoop. And she was like, I don't know who you are.
But also, that energy is left over and it's residual, and other men smell those kind of pheromones.
Yeah, for sure.
And that's why, like, I'm always telling people, like, be the girl that laughs. Be the girl, not be the girl that's nice and need people in their space, but be nice to those who are nice to you.
Right. This
nice
man
enough.
Wasn't giving you no crazy energy.
You know what I mean? I don't think that you got to be, I think you could be firm if you are uncomfortable or if somebody's making you feel odd or whatever the case may be. Nobody's saying be in dangerous positions, but it's also okay to be nice to people who are nice to you, to be kind as a standard of how you expect to be treated in the world. I think you get it back. You know what I mean?
1,000%. And y'all are, the truth of the matter is also, like I said in other videos, I'm learning this year that nice guys are finishing last and that y'all are fumbling these short kings out here. Y'all not.
But I'm telling y'all, I need to do some marketing for short men.
There's plenty of short men out here that are nice guys, and y'all are just overlooking them. Y'all being rude to them. One of my homies, one of my good friends, told me a diabolical story about how we were doing a show somewhere, and he was eyeing this girl from the stage, and she was giving him the vibes, and it was a whole thing. We get done the show, and he walks over to her after the show. It was like one of those, a little bar area or whatever where people were hanging out. And he walks over to her and she immediately says, oh, no, and turns around. Like looks him up and down at his height, says, oh, no, and turns around. But this is like, she was like standing next to her girlfriend. So this was obviously like not even a situation that just happened between them. My heart breaks for the short kings out there.
The problem is that short kings ain't tricking enough bread. Y'all gotta be the richest men in the room. Because I'm saying, you know who don't got no problem getting no poom poom? Kevin Hart.
Every short man in the world ain't gonna have Kevin Hart's bank account.
You don't have to have Kevin Hart's bank account. If you focused on being a provider, like, you know what, I'm going to be a provider. But there are short kings out there who are providers that people don't give the time of day because they're short. At the heart of this is a bunch of sheep thing. This wasn't I don't disagree.
This was not a thing. Now we got into the social media era where everybody is dating for the rest of the world, their own PR purposes. They're dating for their spouse to be Instagrammable to the rest of the world. That's at the heart of this. It's not legitimacy and whether or not these men can provide or they're funny or they're nice or anything like that. It's because now it's uncool. Oh, your man is short.
Yes, that is really at the heart of it. But I'm saying because that's at the heart of it, you got to meet these mother jumpers where they at. That's what I'm saying. And where they at is being of this mind that, oh, if he ain't got this, he don't do this, he's uncool. You're right? I'm just saying we need to change the narrative because I do believe there's short men out there who are good guys, who are handsome men, who are providers, who are all the things, and they getting a bad rap. And by short, I mean like 5'9".
I was about to say, because also now the spectrum, the waters are muddy because she was calling a guy who was 5'9" short, and she was 5'2".
Yeah. And I think Dianna is I don't want to say a big woman.
She is. She looks like a big woman.
You know what I mean? Like a tall, statuesque woman.
In Cameron's face. And Cameron don't look small to me.
He don't look small he look like a Ninja Turtle. But he don't look small.
Well, if Cameron's 5'10", he's not small.
That's true. Kiara, True, Naeem, Shanice, Hussein, and Kiara, get into all that. They go on a group date, okay? And they go skating. And I thought, what a perfect date. You get to hold hands. You get to get close to one another. This was my favorite date of the whole episode.
Yeah, I thought it was cool. And I thought it was one of those things where it forced people to get out of their comfort zone. You know what I mean? Because who's a pro skater outside of Usher? You know what I mean? So I thought that was cool, and just seeing them in a different setting. We've seen everybody do all of the, go to a bar and do all the basic stuff like that. So it also seemed like they was all having fun. It was cool to watch them date in an environment that seemed stress-free.
Yes. And that's such a good point. True and Naeem chat. So True must have gave Mr. Naeem her phone number. Mr. Naeem did not call or text Miss True until she said hello. I guess she was coordinating this date for everyone and let him know the details. Now, Mr. Naeem said, when I went to go, this is the excuse, and y'all tell us what you think. Mr. Naeem said, I got her number. Usually when you get a number and it's unknown, it show up green, but then it turned blue when you both got iPhones, but hers never turned blue. And I know she got an iPhone, so I thought it was weird, so I never texted her. What are your thoughts about
this
that?
whole exchange was confusing to me.
Why?
You didn't text her because her text was green?
So my assumption, okay, is that what he meant was, yes, I did not text her because her contact was green, because I'm under the impression she did not give me a real number. She gave me some kind of offie business number or whatever the case may be. And that may have not sat well with him. I might be taking it a step further, but that's what I got from what he was saying.
But that's a leap, no?
It could be, baby.
Like how I'm just trying to understand how you get to the point of thinking that she kind of gave you some like faux number.
He said, so you gave me a Google number. He said it to her. So that made me think, oh, you think you can't trust me with your phone number. So then you gave me some offie number or whatever the case may be. And now I'm like off you because I think that's weird. That's how I took it. That's me translating Philadelphia Man.
Okay. Well, I'll take it.
And scene.
Yeah.
But do you think that's a valid reason?
No.
I thought it was a fascinating thing.
I don't, especially at these big ages. What are we talking about, y'all?
What are we even talking about? I thought it was really, really fascinating because True made a valid point. Like if it was red number, green number, yellow number, blue number, you still didn't text a number.
Right. I really didn't see what the big deal was.
And what is with these women giving men their phone number and these men not contacting them? Is this becoming something that we need to?
I don't know. I just think I would love to know, like where we are in this process to them, like specifically from the horse's mouth, because to me it just seems like a lot of overreaction is happening. You know what I mean? But again, I haven't been in this dating scene in quite some time. This might be the norm. You know what I mean? Like, oh, I gave you my number. You were supposed to call me at 8:00, even though I gave you my number at 7:30. I don't know. You know what I mean? Because that's kind of what it's given. So I don't really. It just feels like, y'all.
I haven't been in the scene.
Slow down. It just feels like slow down, y'all.
That's how I felt. Like I don't even really know. I've been so far removed. It feels like it's been 100 years.
I know.
It feels like when I was dating, it was like horse and buggies.
Not horse and buggy.
I'm serious. Like it feels like forever ago, but I don't remember having to walk up to a man and ask him why he not texting me.
I also don't remember getting somebody's number and then them being like, "Oh, why you didn't hit me the same day?" Like,
but that might be because you did hit them the same day.
No, I definitely didn't. I definitely did.
See,
not.
I know. I've never in my brain. I never gave my number out there much, but I did go on like 100 first dates. And I don't think I've ever had to, and that's a privilege.
I also don't think you would be the girl to be like, oh, why you ain't call me?
I would never.
That's what I'm saying.
So if it happened, I would never. But
I don't think you would do it if it was 24 hours. Like, this is giving like the next day type thing. You know what I mean?
Okay, so it depends on the circumstances. Let's say I'm out. I'm at the club.
Oh, okay. You doing
okay,
that.
and you come up to me and you like, you bad, and I want your number. If you don't text me that night, I'm gonna be annoyed.
Nah.
I'm gonna be annoyed, and I'm gonna tell you why.
I don't believe you
because I'm used to dating gentlemen, so I always dated older.
That night, if you're at the club, it's already nighttime.
Right, so you're supposed to be
I gotta text you at 12:30 a.m.
You gotta text me at 2 and say, "Did you get home?
Nah.
You safe?" I'm telling you that I need to know you on my ass from day one. Because if you're not, I really do believe, and women, y'all need to do this. Y'all have to date multiple men, and y'all have to deprioritize them.
But
the problem is we be prioritizing them and keeping them prioritized, and they be doing silly shit like not texting you. Because if you want somebody, you're going to text them.
That's not necessarily true. Me not texting you, if I meet you at 10:30 at night, me not texting you the same day doesn't mean I don't want you.
That's for you or whoever you're dating. I'm saying for me, what was a requirement for me, if in certain settings, I would give like, okay, whatever. But if I met you at the club, you got to still be talking to Club Zar, because in the morning, I'm going to be a different bitch. So you're going to have to make yourself known to me that night.
But this is and this is why I'm so glad that I don't swim in these waters anymore, because this is the cat and mouse game that people go through with their mind, and it sounds exhausting. You know what I mean? Because I know some guys are like, I don't want to seem, you know what I mean, too forward, too extra, too thirsty. Sure. I might be texting too soon. I might be texting too late.
But I don't think
this sounds terrible. It sounds terrible.
I don't think in this experiment though, it's far-fetched for people to expect if I give you my phone number that you should contact. I don't think they don't have a long period. They don't have 2 months.
I think expectations killed the cat, period. So who knows what, you know what I mean? One person's expectation could legitimately be, I'll see you at the mixer tomorrow. Somebody else's expectation could be, you should text me in an hour. Yeah. You know what I mean? And you're dealing with multiple different women who most likely have multiple different expectations.
Yes, that's true. Shanice and Hussein talked. And it was really good to see them skating together. I really think we need to give our girl Shanice real big props for hearing what was said about her in the dating process, and not taking it personal and coming back and being like, you know what, maybe being introspective about it and showing up as her beautiful soft self. A lot of y'all in the comments fought back on us when we said
yes, and y'all, but this is the thing that we see in the real world. When people say these things, especially married people, they don't have a dog in the fight. I don't give a damn if you get a date or not. My wife is right here.
Period.
I have no incentive, like, you know what I mean, to either way, right? So if we say something like,
it's out of love,
but it's out of us wanting to see you win and wanting to see you get what you want.
Yes.
Right? And so some people had a adverse reaction to us saying like, no, Shanice should have showed up. Should have left her professional hat at home. Should have doing exactly what she did this episode, right? And watch next week. She's gonna be in everybody's top and all this
period,
other stuff, right? Doing exactly what Uncle Tommy asked her to do. You know what I mean? And we saw how she came off, and she had way better interactions, and it just seemed like it just went way smoother for her. People are so defensive and are so allergic to accountability.
It's wild.
We in a world now where nothing that anybody do is wrong. You know what I mean? If somebody tells you should tweak this, you should do this, there's immediately like, what somebody said, well, what are we supposed to do? Lie?
Like you couldn't have heard what I said or what Joe said and thought we was telling you to lie. Nothing that we said even equated to that. And it's just that we want you to be able to exist. Your sheer existence in these moments is enough.
Right.
It's enough.
But also take our honesty, right? We men really don't care.
But also that
it's just
they don't care. I mean?
And the thing is, I used to say it a lot. Everything that should be isn't, right? So you might think in your mind they should care. He should want to hear about my, every degree I have and my entire resume from front to back, and even the summary at the top of my resume. and maybe you think he should think that way. We're telling you more often than not, there's no absolutes. We're telling you more often than not, this man does not care.
Yeah. Whether you were the home health aide or you owned the home health aide business,
right?
How he treated you wasn't going to be any different,
right?
Except for if he wanted to ask you for money,
right?
So you know what I mean, like,
and us telling you to lean into your femininity, lean into being conversational, whether it's men or women, right? Some men want to talk about their job too damn much, right? Like,
yes,
and that turns into, now you're not getting to know her, you're not asking her questions, and it's now not conversational, right? We watched another show called The Later Daters, where this wonderful, beautiful older black woman, super professional. Her matchmaker told her, stop talking about your job. They don't care. She literally told her on Netflix, y'all can go watch it, everything we just told y'all in the last video. She sat this lady down. She said, first of all, take your glasses off. She said, I'm not doing that, right? Because she even thought that she just looked too businessy.
Yes.
You know what I mean?
She looked like she was hiding who she actually was. So
she looked like she was going to a meeting and not a date.
But
and I think
older
that's
black women in them glasses.
Them
glasses got older women in a chokehold.
Which is why I was not even mad.
I got my glasses on, just like when I wear glasses.
I love a woman in glasses. I like smart women, so that's it's a nerdy thing to me. But that's why I wasn't mad at her because she straight told that lady, I'm not taking my glasses off, and you can leave my house. You know what I mean? So, but the lady
still single,
right? Right. But the lady's point was, you're just giving business.
Yes.
You're not giving. He
can't see you.
He can't see you. He just sees somebody's office manager.
Yes. And you talk like that. And Shanice just really turned it around. And let me tell you something. She looks so sexy and beautiful.
She looked better to me.
Yes.
I don't even know if it was something that she did with her hair.
Nothing.
She
Nothing
just
changed.
Looked better to me.
She looked absolutely perfect. And it felt like she just is existing. I don't know. What do y'all think? Do y'all think that's a thing? Like, did y'all feel like, ooh, who was this hottie patati in here? One of the things I wanted to talk about as well is Kiara and Jay. Kiara and Jay are really vibing. Cute. They are vibing. I like Kiara. One of my favorite people growing up is Sharice Bartlett. So, Aunt Shirky, if you hear this, Mama Shirk, that's my girl. I thought she was just like one of the coolest women ever. Like, just a real chill. Shout out to Salnina and Jazz and Rashida and all them. I really loved her growing up. And that's who Kiara reminds me of. Like, big smile, good energy. And just watching her with Mr. J was really, really nice. Like, they were talking about, like, they're both only children, which is not.
Don't do them.
No, it's not a good match. So birth order also not. Oh, that sounds bad. Not that it's not a good match, right? But when they think, there are certain things that people look at when they're looking at whether or not a couple is going to be compatible, right? When they're looking at the metrics of whether or not. And one of them is your birth order. So, like, if you're an older daughter with a younger son, like a youngest son, that works. But sometimes if you're an older daughter with an older son, it doesn't work. Okay? So it's like certain matches in the birth order that doesn't go. And sometimes only children don't work because you are so used to your own, fulfilling your own needs. Mm-hmm. It's hard to kind of come together in that regard, specifically when it's the opposite sex. It's really, really fascinating. But this is not stuff I'm making up. This is like for real, y'all, like stuff I be looking at because y'all know y'all girlfriend want to be a matchmaker. But like in real life, I loved their energy. And I thought it was such a coinky dink that they were only children.
I did too. I thought I could see them vibing. I could see them working together. I like their vibe. It seemed like she's the kind of forward that I was talking about.
Yes.
You know what I mean? Like, and I think that's what I meant by, like, I'm used to, like, it's no guess. Like, he don't got to guess. She's into him.
Yes.
You know what I mean? And it's in a very still feminine, somebody referenced it in the comments.
Oh, drop my keys.
Drop the keys. It was in a very feminine drop the keys type of way, but he don't got to guess. Like, he knows she put the foot up and said she want a foot massage or whatever it was at the skate ring or whatever. I thought that was cute. I like seeing them vibe or whatever, and I think they can do something.
I think they can do something as well. She said that in the group with the women that she didn't have no gas when they left the
Oh,
event.
right.
And he said, well, ride with me to the gas station. And he put gas in her tank. And baby, that's a Philly man for you.
Yeah.
I tell people, like, I tell people this all the time. How do y'all not meet men who are providers? Philly men are annoying. They're going to have 5 children and 3 baby mamas, but they're going to put gas in your mammy tank, okay? Your bills are going to be paid, but he's going to be a wreck. But your bills are going to be paid. And I really did enjoy that. To me is that, like, you should always feel like you're in the presence of a gentleman. Shout out to Rashid Pitts, because he the mother jumper who told me that. We all went out with my girlfriends. We went to a hookah lounge. Was it a hookah lounge? Might have been Recess downtown. I think that's what it was called. In Rittenhouse Square. And we got a table. And it was me and all my girlfriends. We put the money up for the table, but all the guys came out or whatever. And he was like, that was the most beautiful thing I ever seen. Because we didn't make it no big deal. We was vibing the whole night. And he was like, but don't you ever put no money on the table in front of no man. You always supposed to feel like you're in the presence of a gentleman. And that's my big cousin. That's Philly men for you. You know what I mean? Good guys. Good guys. They a mess, but they good men. And that's why I like Jay. I like Jay and I like Miss Kiara. So then we move on to the date with Angie, Eddie, Wayne, and Coley. Wayne and these bangs is wearing me out. When I see a man and he has all this, like it feels like he's hiding himself. Even when men wear their dress down, I'm just like, what are we doing here? Why, like put this shit out your face.
Honestly, I think Wayne's situation is so flagrantly above anything. You know what I mean? Like, Wayne is like covering his face like a punk golf child. And it's clearly like not the vibe. Even Uncle Tommy took a shot at him when he came out at the comedy. Nah.
And it feels like he's hiding something, like the woman with the glasses.
Oh, other show.
Yes.
I was doing math like, who?
You know what I mean, though?
No, yeah.
Like, it doesn't feel. And then with the terrible sunglasses.
I think he wanted to be a certain type of artistic that it's not.
Oh, he got an aesthetic he's trying to achieve. Okay. Well, the girls called him out because he didn't call their number, and I'm glad that they did. They talked to them about, what is it that you're looking for? And Mr. Eddie said, well, first of all, let's talk about Miss Angie. Miss Angie said she'd been married before, and she was with a provider. She ain't had to do nothing. She just lived her life, got out to bed, do whatever she wanted to do. And Eddie said, you ain't had no hobbies or nothing that you wanted to do? She was like, no, he wouldn't let me do anything. He said, that's wild. That shit tickled me so bad, because to women, that's a flex. To men, it don't read the same.
It really doesn't.
Do that make sense?
1,000%, because I was thinking like Eddie. I'm like, oh, that's actually wild.
Yeah.
But also, she said she was 20-something years old, which there's your mistake right there.
Wayne speaks about his brother. His brother is younger than him, 28 years old. His brother has been married for 5 years, has a family, was married at 23, loves his family, is happily married. So he said he sees these things and it makes him want to aspire to be that kind of man. So because Mr. Wayne told that story, it really brought some things up for Miss Coley. She said that she lost her brother on that day, that they had been out, and she tries to do things that honor him on the day of his passing from a motorcycle accident. And I thought that was kind of cool. Like, okay, Miss Coley, like, you're sharing and being open about, you know what I mean, your loss and everything like that. And that brings us to Eddie, who also lost his dad at a young age. So seeing these people being vulnerable and share these kind of experiences, I think it's important. I think you can have these kind of, this is how conversation kind of flows, is what I'm saying. And that was kind of cool to see, except for it all came back to Mr. Wayne not calling Miss Angie.
It really did, because Nicole was having a moment there and Eddie could really vibe with that. Excuse me. And then somehow we got back to, her getting on her soapbox about not being called fast enough.
That's why I think the weeks where the people, like whoever has power during what week, is an odd week.
It really is. Because I think it causes people to act differently.
Yay.
Because she was driving this home a little too hard, and I felt like if this was a week later, she wouldn't be doing this.
Because she was like, oh, I got
We need to talk.
Yes. And I'm like, this is my feeling. Angie too good looking to be doing all that. And I know you like, well, no, it's something about letting people know how you feel about them. And I'm with all that.
No. That's not what I was thinking at all. I was thinking, is she?
I think no, because then you got me thinking. I think she a beautiful woman, and I
didn't say she wasn't.
I think shut up.
I just
to
think
Wayne.
it tracks.
How about that? To Wayne. That's what I'm saying. To Wayne. This conversation is like, girl. Now, if you was talking to Francisco or Eddie, I might have been like, all right, I get why you put on the full court press. But to Wayne,
I think this tracks. I think this is how she moves. You know what I mean? And I think this tracks for her person, for, you know what I mean? Like, she know who she is. I wouldn't expect somebody like Shanice to do the same thing. You know what I'm saying? That's all I'm saying.
You think Shanice would do the same thing?
I said I wouldn't expect for somebody like Shanice to do the same thing.
Okay. Tay, Rose, Fritz, and Cam and Khalil, Jesus Christ, all go and make bowls. Also a very cute date. Philly just has so many cute things to do.
I'm also like learning about these places, like, you know, that I've never
I don't
heard
think it was as developed when you were like.
And for sure it wasn't. I know for a fact.
I don't feel like
every
it
time
was
I
as
come back
cool.
home is new, new things and new places for adults to go. You know what I mean? And it's cool to see
because
them.
Joe didn't get to experience like Center City Sips.
Nah.
Oh my God, bro. Wednesdays we used to be wasted. Like wasted. Oh my God. We would be making plans Wednesday morning. Like, where are we meeting up? Where are we going? I was watching something today. I was watching Funky Dianna, and Funky Dianna said we used to be in our best business casual, hitting the bar, go out all night long, wake up the next day and go to work, wash our face and go to work. And I said, if that ain't my mammy tapping true, like that was my life. Like I was outside living a life, and I do miss Center City Sips. That shit was a vibe. You would have loved that. Cam talks to Tay. Tay did not like Mr. Cam. I don't know what about Mr. Cam people are not liking.
But everybody is saying the same thing. They saying he quiet.
Thing. He's giving Shanice.
They saying he quiet, and it's like, I mean, Tay is maybe the most talkative person on here, and she had no words for him when they were talking.
It was awkward.
It was getting very, very awkward.
I
thought y'all liked quiet man.
He is kind of stoic.
I don't think he is. That's what's weird about it.
I don't think he is either.
I can't see it.
I think he's just measured. I think he's just calculated.
Yeah.
And I think he's reading the room, and he need a little bit more time. This is a new group, a new experience. I think that's what he's doing in the same way I feel like that's what Shanice was doing.
I can see that.
Like she's trying to get her feet, figure out, well, how am I supposed to do this? What's my angle? Whoop-de-whoop-de-whoop, when it really should just be existing.
I just saw him like talking, and he just seemed like he was being conversational. He seemed like he was asking questions, and he was giving, and they were not giving back. So there's something that's happening in the room that maybe we aren't seeing, because the one thing that is consistent is they are calling him quiet. They're all the ladies' issue with him was like he's too quiet.
I know.
And maybe it's because there's a lot of personality amongst the other men.
That's a good point, Joe.
It can overshadow people. You know what I mean? And so maybe that's it. Maybe just his personality in a room with, some of these other guys is just not holding up.
That's a good point. That's a really good point. The women meet all together. Some of the men that are in their top are Mr. Hussein, obviously Francisco, Eddie, and Jay. Okay, these guys aren't going anywhere this week. But some people that were in their bottom were Naeem, okay, obviously Wayne. Rose brought up a conversation that she had with Wayne where she felt like when she asked him, and you tell me if you think this is premature or not, when she asked him about marriage, like, what are you dating for? Like, do you see yourself getting married? Those kind of questions. He didn't have a definitive answer for that, which was funny because I felt like on the date with the girls, he changed his answer. But when he spoke to Rose, it was before that, he said, he didn't have a definitive answer. What do you think about that?
I didn't really have an issue with what he said. It sounded like, to me, he was basically saying, like, I'm being open to this process. You know what I mean? I took it as, like, if I find a wife here, I'm down for that, and I'll leave married. And if I don't, maybe I find a girlfriend. Maybe we don't leave, as an engaged couple. Like, it didn't seem to me. I felt like Rose had more of an issue with what he said, and I couldn't really figure out why she had such an issue with what he said, to be honest.
Two things. Yes, I couldn't understand why she had such an issue with it. And then the second thing is, if I'm being honest with myself, right? And I ask a man, or if I'm listening to a girlfriend and she tells me she asked a man, do he want to be married? And he gave her this roundabout answer, I would say he don't want to be married.
I don't feel like his answer was roundabout, though. Like, I don't feel like, okay. I get what you're talking about.
You know what I mean?
What you're talking about is evasive.
Yes,
but I didn't feel like he was.
Okay,
and maybe I need to watch it again. But I just in a moment seeing it one time, I didn't feel like he was evasive. So that's why I was confused by her reaction. Because we've heard about conversations like this that our single friends have had, and we're like, "Girl, you stupid," because he is avoiding your question because he don't have. And I just didn't feel like that was Wayne in this instance.
So I think what I'm speaking to your point, to take it a step further, if I ask you, do you want to be married? I don't know if people have asked you this before. Do you want to be married? You would say yes.
Yeah. And
I think for some people, the idea of that might be just a yes or no question.
This is a very unique situation, right?
Like, I'm not saying you got to marry somebody here.
But that's what I'm saying. To me, that's the question he was answering.
Okay.
You know what I mean? This is not a situation where it's a one-on-one at a bar, and because then that is cut and dry. I felt like he was answering the question of, do you want to leave this process married? And to me, it sounded like he was saying, I'm open to it. I'm certainly open to leaving this process married, but I'm also open to, like, maybe I just leave with a good girlfriend, a good spouse, and maybe it's not a fiance, but maybe it's a relationship and a connection that can grow into that.
I thought that Rose bringing that up was, I mean, she's a woman. She's 37 years old. Okay, so I completely understood being like, I have a line. If you don't want that, cool, you can go on ahead about your business. You know what I mean? Because by that age, and I'm saying that because by the age of 36 and 37, it is a line question. Like, is this something that you know what I mean? Does that make sense what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It's like yes or no. By that age, I feel like we need to be making decisions kind of thing. So I thought it was good for her to bring it up, and I thought it was accurate for him and Cam to be in the bottom too.
Yeah, I wasn't surprised by that.
Yeah, I wasn't surprised. He was the least vibey. But I did appreciate when he sat down with Tay how he took the information from her.
Yeah.
Because we watched Will ingest that kind of information and let us know that it was somebody else's problem. Mm-hmm. But when we saw Cam do it, he said, it does take me a little bit longer. I do hold my feelings in kind of like a vessel. I should be more open. That meant a lot to me.
Yeah, I mean, I could tell that Tay was about to cut him because she's a bad actor.
I know.
You know what I mean? And I think, she just has a certain, warmth about her, and she was still giving that to him or whatever. So the whole time they was talking, I'm thinking, oh, he's not going home. But I also thought it was the right choice. I didn't think he should go home. And you know how they bring in new people, I feel like they could bring in somebody who connects with him. I think the truth of the matter is there's just nobody here who really connects with him. I don't really think it's nothing wrong with the guy. You know what I mean? I think Wayne should go home.
No, I think Wayne should go home. And what solidified that for me, Joe, is when he said, Dianna tells him that the women think that he's not ready to love because, he's not really buying into the experience.
Oh, he did the same thing that everybody do in these past, I ain't going to change myself for nobody. I'm not here to make friends.
I'm not.
Everybody. Sahara said the same thing. She going to say it again when she get cut.
Child.
It's y'all, not me. I'm about to light the city on fire. I don't know. Whatever that mess was.
I don't want nothing to do with this 10. I'm done with this.
I'm scared for when they cut
I'm scared of her. I know
it's coming.
I'm scared of her.
It's coming.
She just looked like she bite. You know what I mean? And
in the wrong way.
Hello? Okay. So, thank y'all so much for joining us again. I hope you guys enjoyed this. I'm your girl, Intisar Eleanor. It's my beautiful husband, Joseph Conner. And we'll see you beautiful mother jumpers later. Bye.